Well, a good evening to our viewers. Yes, it's not the evening, but it is during the day here at the Klavervlei Stallion Parade. And what a day has turned out to be. Certainly the weather played its part, and Fiona's here with me. And the Stallions, I've got to say, looked remarkable. A great job by the guys getting their coats as shiny as they were today.
Absolutely fabulous. I couldn't fault any of them. I thought they all looked superb, and it was lovely seeing them walk to such wonderful music as well. It's just been an absolute treat this morning.
Great vibe, and you were out and about here today?
Yes, I managed to catch up with lots of breeders and people involved with the stallions, and a really good positive vibe by all.
We'll be crossing over to that insert where Fee chats to a lot of the visiting breeders that came to view the stallions. But let's just take a quick look at what's on the show tonight. Right, we'll be catching up with the Klavervlei Stallion Parade. From then on inwards, we'll be having a look at Pomodoro and his success that he's done so well recently with a fantastic Group 1 victory early on at Greyville. We're also catching up with a whole host of stallion previews and inserts as well as adverts. A busy show, and Fee also was very busy. She took time out to go to Vasco's to chat with Bryn Wrestle. But let's start out now, Fee, with the Klavervlei Stallion Day, and great bunch of guys, well attended, and let's see who you caught up with.
It's an absolutely beautiful winter's morning here at Klavervlei Stud, and once again we're here for the annual Stallion Parade, and I'm really excited to see these beautiful animals being paraded this morning. There's a lovely turnout of people, and a bit later on I'll be catching up with the thoughts on these beautiful stallions.
Today is about stallions, and in this last month of July, and you will all know, everybody who breeds horses, when you have to choose mates for your mares, you all know that choosing the stallion is probably one of the most important tasks that you have to do. And in the last month of July, the fortunes of the syndicates and the shareholders of Twiceover and Pomodoro have been elevated into new levels. And it's fantastic for us as a stallion station to have these kind of horses that can step into the shoes of the mighty Captain L, standing here behind me. So, first up on our list is Captain of All. We all know how fast he was. Still the highest rated, merit-rated horse in South Africa at 126. What's been great about Captain of All is that in his first 3 seasons, he's covered 356 mares, which equates to 119 mares a season. Now that, in anybody's book in South Africa, is really great numbers.
Well, all the stallions looked magnificent this morning, didn't they? And you're also involved in Captain of All.
Yeah, no, I'm not really involved in Captain of All, but I have seen him quite a number of mares, and I must say I'm very impressed with the foals on the ground. Looking forward to another few being born now shortly. I must say they're quite leaguey, and really like them.
James Armitt is a shareholder in Captain of All, but he's also heavily supporting Pomodoro, and you've been at the Stallion Parade this morning. Don't they all look great?
Geez, Fee, for this time of the year, they're looking superb, and they really are well. I've just watched them all get put out into their paddocks, and it's so lovely to watch them bucking and kicking and galloping up and down with each other and rolling. So they are exceptionally well.
Coup de Gras, as you know, is a horse that was imported to South Africa by Klavervlei, Gainsway Stud and Highland Stud Farm. Coup de Gras by Tappet. Tappet, the most influential and breed-shaping stallion of the past half century. The main thing about Coup de Gras is his speed. He was an incredibly fast horse. He was undefeated at 2. He won a Group 2 and a Group 3 and placed in the Group 1. But his run in the Group 2 Amsterdam was probably one of the finest runs that he ever contested. It was a race at Saratoga in 2014 over 1,300 meters, and he ran the fastest 1,300 meters at Saratoga that year. In fact, it was the fastest 1,300 meter race run anywhere in the United States in 2015. He's a 5-time winner from 1,200 to 1,600 meters.
Well, with me now is Mike Sharkey from Highlands, part of Ridgemont, and of course you're very heavily involved with Coup de Grace, which we saw this morning, and he looks absolutely fantastic.
Yes, he's a lovely horse. I mean, John Costa told us all about him, and Tapazar, we've got lovely foals. Scopy foals, they look like they'll get mile too, so we're very, very happy with Coup de Grace.
I thought that Son of Tappet is more aware of himself than just about any horse I've ever seen. He poses, he looks at the other horses, and he engages. And I think it's very important. And to get a Son of Tappet with his pedigree and his race performance, you'll never get that high up the food chain.
Okay, next up will be Pomodoro, son of the serial champion Jetmaster. Pomodoro covered 290 mares over his first 4 seasons, which equated to around about 72 mares a season. And we all know when you're covering those kind of books of mares, it is a challenge. It's a challenge for any stallion when he has to compare with stallions that are covering 120 odd mares. Were it not for the faith of Chris and Eric van Niekerk as breeders and Sean Terry, we wouldn't have even got to those numbers. He's had 22 runners so far. He's had 5 winners of 8 races. He's had 3 stakes horses, which equates to 7%, which is extremely good. But what's really exciting about Pomodoro is how he's massively upgrading his mares.
David Hepburn-Brown is with me from Hemel Lardell's stud, and of course you're heavily involved in Pomodoro and Captain of All, and don't they look magnificent this morning?
Yeah, both of them are actually looking really good. Captain of All's looking stunning, and Pomodoro just gets better and better as time goes along. And I've booked 7 services to him this year.
He's making the headlines at the moment as well.
No, he is. I've always liked him from the beginning. I've always followed him. I've always supported him with more than just what my share allocates me to. So I'm glad he's come through, and well done to Sean and Chris for putting their money down. And it's now for us to carry on.
Our next stallion is Red Ray. Now, when Red Ray came to stud, we always knew he was a beautiful horse. And Joey Ramson said he's one of the most handsome and charismatic horses that he'd ever trained. But when you see him just now, you will understand how absolutely beautiful this horse has become as a stallion. He comes from a great female line. His mother is definitely Broodmare of the Year. And I think from a sales point of view, he's going to throw you a brilliant type of a yearling. He covered 65 mares last year. He's at a very, very reasonable price of 7,000 Rand this year, 2 down and 5,000 nomination. And I think he's the dark horse of this stallion complex. And I think he's certainly a horse that one needs to look at very carefully. A Group 1 winner, sprinter, every right to be at stud.
Well, David Avery is very interested in the racing game, and of course he's very well known, but this is his first Stallion Day. I can't believe that, David. Your first Stallion Day that you've ever attended.
I picked them carefully, but no, it's the first time I could make one, and it's been wonderful. Better than I expected.
It is wonderful, and to see them walk with the beautiful music playing really does give you goosebumps.
I thought the choice of music was superb. My sister is a crazy horse lover and rider overseas, so I videoed each one myself, and when she gets those by WhatsApp, she'll be over the moon.
Our next horse is a horse called Royal Mo. Royal Mo bought and imported by our good friend Heinrich Rix, who's here with us today. Heinrich, welcome. John Sheris is down on record saying that Royal Mo was without doubt the second most talented horse that he'd ever trained in his life after the mighty Zenyatta. An amazing race record this horse has. He had six runs, 2 wins, 2 seconds and a third. But this is what it's all about. In the Santa Anita Derby, Group 1 race, it was won by a horse called Gormley. Second was Battle of Midway, and third was Royal Mo. But Royal Mo was catching both of them stride for stride, coming into the final 100, when his jockey Gary Stevens dropped his whip, which had a massive influence on the result of that race. He's a horse that you'll see just now that'll probably blow your socks off. He's by the mighty Uncle Mo. And Uncle Mo is becoming an absolute revelation in the United States.
I've been chatting to Heinrich Rex for some time now and following the progress of Royal Mo, and wow, doesn't he look something special today?
Yes, I was very impressed. He's really let down very nicely as a stallion, taking into account how much he's been through and eventually got here through all the quarantine. So I was very happy. I think John's done a great job with him.
And he's getting good bookings?
I think after today we'll know how many bookings he's really got, but certainly we're going to support him with quite a lot of mares, and I think Klavervlei will do the same. John and myself, with the help of some others, have actually sat down. We've been collecting mares for a while now for him. I think we bought 4 mares at the CTS 1 sale. After that sale there was a mare sale, so we got some really nice mares in what we're going to give him lined up for him.
He's the leading second crop sire in South Africa and the first sire in decades to get a 3-year-old winner of the Durban July from his first crop. In fact, if you want to find another sire that got a Group 1 winning 3-year-old from his first crop, you'll have to go all the way back to the 1960s to find the likes of legendary Colorado King and Naval Escort. Quite an achievement. Twice Over set himself up as a really significant stallion now. Not even Jetmaster got a Group 1 winning and a Group 1 winning 2-year-old and a Group 1 winning 3-year-old from his first crop. Think about it. In fact, the only sire to achieve that distinction apart from Twice Over in the last 50 years is Dynasty. That says something. So hopefully we can look forward to that sort of career path for this horse as well. Twice Over raced on from 2 to 7 years. He was undefeated in 2 years, including the Zetland Stakes. So we have high hopes that his progeny will train on like he did. They certainly look that way.
Coming back to Klavervlei for a stallion day is always a treat. For me, it's like coming home, you know, having managed Captain Al's career for so long. And what a hell of a career that was. Now, to have a successor in Twice Over is a dream. I can't say that. I mean, he's standing amongst a very nice array of stallions. Klavervlei have done a good job of making a stallion station out of this. I think they've got the genetic material to maybe even find more than Twice Over, you know. But for now, Twice Over is doing everything I could possibly wish for.
Last but not least, William Longsword. A brilliant racehorse, as you all know. He ran 8 times, he won 6 of them. I think when he was retired to stud as a 3-year-old, it was done with mixed emotions from the public. Without question, it was the right thing to do because you have in your mind this amazing sight of William Longsword in full cry down the Kenilworth Straight after he'd won the Guineas and then the 500,000 mile CTS mile. So he went to stud with a massive reputation. A lot of us were very sad to see him retire at that stage because we honestly believe, he was a very late foal, he was very immature, and we honestly believe that he was the type of horse that he would have shaken the ground as a 4-year-old.
William Longsword, I haven't seen him in a long time, and I thought he was a standout, a phenomenal horse, and obviously MJ Bielefeld, who was a regular jockey, he's taken a share, which was good news to hear, and just raving reports about him, and he's a real top-class specimen with a great pedigree, so I thought he was a standout. And then interesting to see Royal Mo as well, son of Uncle Mo, standing in South Africa. First time I've seen him properly in the flesh, and also a beautiful horse and a great bunch of stallions. Coup de Gras, also phenomenally athletic, beautiful horse, and I think a great bunch of stallions to take Klavervlei forward in their new era.
James Drew is with me now, obviously a popular owner in racing here in South Africa, and he's done a fair bit of travelling European-wise as well, so he knows what a good horse looks like. And these looked particularly well this morning, didn't they?
They really did, Fee. It's always very special coming to Klavervlei. I mean, John and I were at school together, so I've known him a long time, so it's always nice to support. I thought Twice Over was looking absolutely wonderful, and all the success he's had. I think I'm a massive William Longsword fan, and certainly that American horse looked very spectacular.
Well, it's always lovely to chat to Chris van Niekerk. He's here at the Stallion Parade this morning. Chris, I must congratulate Klavervlei on what a fantastic season.
They did a great job, and it's good for the soul to be here, not just looking at the stallions, but it's the whole ambience.
Well, the place looks absolutely marvellous. The turnout here is great this morning, and I couldn't have seen more magnificent horseflesh.
Yeah, tremendous, and the support has been great. As you probably know, that we're heading for a new dawn, I think, for Klavervlei. Not just are we very happy and proud to have a team that John has gathered around him. But I get the impression we might have some fun with some of the stallions we saw.
Ian Longmore is a very familiar face in the racing game, a huge supporter of horse racing and, of course, breeding as well. And Ian, don't the stallions look fantastic here at Claverflay this morning?
Absolutely, Fee. They look world class, and what lovely weather to go along with it.
And Claverflay, of course, topped the boards as the breeder of last season, and quite deservedly so.
Absolutely. Well, especially the horse that impressed me today was Pomodora, and my other pick was actually Coup de Grace, so we'll see how he goes as well.
With me is our host, John Costa, and we have had an absolutely fantastic morning. John, thank you very much for having us all here this morning. Once again, it's been a wonderful morning, and the stallions, I must compliment you, they're looking out of this world.
Yeah, I feel that the team's done a great job on them. After the season, we always like to let them out and let them get dirty and grow long hair and just be horses. But as you come into the season time, everybody wants to see the stallions. They want to make their choices for their mares, so it's very, very important that they look well. And I've had a lot of compliments today, so yeah, stallions are looking great.
And congratulations as well, because you were top of the log as top breeders once again for the last season. That's magnificent.
Yeah, it was great, Fee. A lot of challenges. I think, as you know, William Longsword retired early, and then 3 of our really top horses got sold off to Hong Kong. And whenever the top horses go, it's very difficult to keep the stakes up. But yeah, no, a really good result.
Top marks to you. I couldn't single out one of these stallions. They're all looking so well.
They are, and I think the great thing about it is that it's such a wide variety. To have a son of Uncle Mo here, the only one, the only son of Tappet here, to have our local superstars, Captain L's sons and Jetmaster sons. It's important, I think, for people that are supporting a stallion station to be able to have as wide a variety of choices as they can, whether it be a sprinter, a miler, or a stayer. And I think we've covered most of those bases.
Yeah, absolutely. And the farm is looking really, really well as well. And we've had a bit of rain. It looks fantastic.
It's great, And Peter, since we've moved into operations, he's reveling in the job. He is a farmer at heart. And, this is one of the first times that the whole farm is under pasture. We've had a bit of early rain, which is great. We need follow-up rains like everybody else in the country. But, yeah, the farm's looking super.
Well, once again, thank you for having us all here this morning. I know everyone's having a wonderful lunch and really, really enjoyed the parade this morning.
Brilliant, Fee. Thanks a lot.
Hits the front in the 8th, her 1,000 guineas success. Minding outclassed them. Architecture gallant in defeat. It's coming with a challenge and moves through into second. And it's Tarzan who has won the Investec Derby.
A length and a half away. He's 2 lengths in front. Chrome turns to gold. Smart Call wins the champion.
Absolute thriller going to the line. It's Durban July. Wally Hall is the only multiple Grade 1 winning son of Australia's undisputed king of sires, Reduced Choice, at stud in South Africa. He achieved a merit rating of 119. A versatile performer who beat Turfentine 1400-metre course specialist White Line Fever at Grade 2 level and also won the Turfentine stallion-making Grade 1 South African Derby. First passed the post in 3 Grade 1 races and earned a check in 6 Grade 1 races. He is a half-brother to champion sprinter, Absolute Champion, who beat Silent Witness, breaking his own track record in the highest-rated sprint performance in the world in 2006. He is also a 3-parts brother to Grade 1 Oaks winner Anna Marto. Wiley Hall's striking hands and heels defeat of a high-class field in the Grade 1 South African Derby is especially significant because his race record combines speed and classic class.
Wiley Hall that comes together with Gothic as they pass the 200. Warhorse, here comes Talina, who's finishing strongly on the stand side. Wiley Hall is there. Gothic, Talina's on the outside, but it's Wiley Hall now coming to the lead into the closing stages from Gothic, and Wiley Hall has won the SA Derby.
First past the post in the 2014 Vodacom Durban July, Wiley Hall was denied victory in the boardroom.
Wiley Hall, Legislate now alongside. Wiley Hall, Legislate. Futurus flying on the inside. Here it comes. Wiley Hall perhaps ahead. Wiley Hall.
He warmed up for the Grade 1 Champions Challenge with a fluent win in the Grade 2 Colorado King Stakes.
Wiley Hall goes for home and he looks good for victory. Wiley Hall wins the Colorado King Stakes.
And then he won the Grade 1 Premier's Champions Challenge in fine style.
But it's Wiley Hall on the stand side, half the deficit, no worries. Matchmoo tries hard in the closing stages. Wiley Hall, Matchmoo tries hard, but she's not going to get there, and Wiley Hall beats Matchmoo.
Wiley Hall's triple champion sire, Redout's Choice, is the undisputed king of Australian sires. Wiley Hall earned a cheque in 10 stakes races, including 6 Grade 1 races.
One of the prime locations for one of the best lunches in Cape Town is the Vasco Taverna. And obviously Bryn Ressel very involved along with his partners Ross and Graham. And Fiona managed to take time to go visit Bryn out at Vasco, and I know it's always a trip that you like making.
It's an absolute pleasure. We always get to have a really, really good lunch, and I must say Vasco's just going from strength to strength. The crowds there and the vibe and the big screens for all the sport, they've had a really, really phenomenal season sporting wise, and they've got the opportunity to have a bet there as well, so everything is going for Vasco's.
Well, that was a new initiative. Obviously the bookmaker rights now up and running out at the Vasco, along too with the tab. Let's catch up with Fiona, who managed to take time out with Bryn Ressel.
Well, it's always a pleasure to be here at Vasco da Gama in Cape Town, and with me this morning is Bryn Ressel to talk about what a fantastic sporting season they've had here. Of course, the food is always magnificent and second to none, but we've got the big screens to watch the sport on, and we've had a phenomenal lot of sport on over the last few months. Bryn, thank you very, very much for having us here. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Now, it's been a really, really busy few months sporting-wise with all the different sports we've had on, and soccer and rugby and Wimbledon and international racing and racing in Durban. The roofs must have been raised here at Vasco.
Yeah, we've had a couple of complaints, so that's always good. You know, when the neighbours are complaining, things are happening here. But as you said, you've had the rugby, you've had Wimbledon, you've had the Tour de France, which was for me it was interesting to see how well followed the Tour de France was, and of course then you had the World Cup soccer. Unfortunately, Portugal went out a little early, but and England was almost there. But it's been fantastic for us. It's been good.
And it's lovely because, I mean, the racing people know about this place and they spend most of their lives here. But it's nice that you've got the other interest of all the other sports.
Now, look, firstly, we have to say a big thank you to the racing fraternity, because we've been supported very well by them. So it's nice to have them here. Sometimes it's a little bit confusing because you've got all the different people giving you different points of view, so you'll end up picking the wrong one, but they've been very good to us, and it's also nice because I think a lot of people are coming here. The guys who know that this is, if you want to call it a horse racing pub, you get a lot of the public coming here to see if they can meet the guys and talk to them. So it's actually worked well.
And I must compliment you, your food is always fantastic.
That's probably why I'm the size I am today, but it is good, thank you.
No, but it's a great place to be with a wonderful menu. Now you've got a new facility, a new betting facility, which makes things even better for all these people that are here watching and loving their sport.
Yeah, we thought that we tried, the aim was with the World Cup, we thought, okay, let's just see what would happen. In the beginning, people were all very apprehensive about, you've got a betting thing here, you're going to have all types of things going wrong and all that, but it's actually worked out very well, and it's actually been very well supported. I mean, because the betting has gone from initially, which was the soccer, now we've got the horse racing going on here, they had the tennis, so these guys kind of bet on everything, and it's actually worked out very well.
I can imagine so, it must be wonderful. And there's nothing like watching sport in a restaurant like this with a good vibe and lots of people and lots of cheering.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and as you said, I mean, I think the thing that Vasco prides itself is in that it is a very family-orientated, friendly type pub. We almost like emanate from Cheers, where everyone knows your name, so when we have big sporting events, we have a lot of regulars here, who we're very grateful for you. But we've had, as I said, the support has been phenomenal. And from the racing fraternity, it's actually quite unbelievable the amount of guys that have come here and supported us.
Now, you're a very busy man. You run lots of different businesses. Do you get to spend enough time here or as much time as you like here?
Well, it depends who you're talking to. If you're speaking to my family, they'll tell you this is my home. If you're speaking to me, I'll say I never get enough, I never spend enough time here. But I'll take every opportunity I can because, coming down here, it's very relaxing. And there really is such a vast variety of people that come here, from the guys that come up from the docks in their overalls and oily boots, and to the top doctors and top lawyers and top accountants. So you've got a mix of match of everybody, but everyone's at home. So that for us is the strength of Vasco.
And racing-wise, you've had a little bit of a quieter time. You're still getting the winners, but you've had a little bit of quieter time. But of course, you did win the last year's July with Marinaresco. How is he doing now, and what's the plan?
Marinaresco at the moment, we've had a very quiet time. But I think if you speak to Marsh, he'll tell you he's probably had one winner in every I don't know in every month. He keeps the stats. But Marinaresco, our little champ, he's in the UK at the moment. He's in Abington in Newmarket. He's with at Jess's farm or stables or whatever you call. So he's living the life of luxury. Exactly what's going to happen with him, we're not too sure. Obviously, they want to see how he's gone, how he's settled down. And with Marinaresco, you never know what's going to happen with him. If he's going to run, he runs like a champion. But if it's not his day, he runs way below form. So I think the most important thing for us is that he's a happy horse. And I think we've aimed a bit high with him because maybe he's not as highly rated as other horses that have gone overseas. But if he produces his best, he'll be very competitive. But for us, for him to be happy, we look forward to him having a good season wherever he goes, whether it's going to be Singapore, Hong Kong or Dubai. He's with Mike, so Mike will decide. But more importantly, we're also looking forward to him coming back a happy, sound horse, which is as important to us.
Yeah, certainly a very exciting horse to follow. And will you get to travel if he runs?
We'll find an excuse to be there if he runs.
Now, otherwise, I mean, in Cape Town and in South Africa, you've got some nice youngsters and nice horses for the coming season?
Yeah, we're hoping so. I mean, as you said, this game is a leveler. I mean, this time last year, we were still celebrating the win of the July. Just on the July, I mean, obviously, congratulations to the Snaiths, and I think it was a phenomenal performance. I think they got first, second, third, and fifth. Okay, so I mean, I think it was phenomenal, and it's wonderful to see an owner like Nick Johnson win. I think he got first and second. He's a magnificent man, and he's great for the game. We felt then what they're feeling now, which is wonderful. So we've come down that high of the July, and reality hits, and in this game, one day you're up and one day you're down. We have had a lean time. There's no doubt about it. I mean, our two top horses, obviously Marinaresco's overseas, but the ones here, Magical Wonderland and Dutch Phillip, I think we think they've got huge potential. Though on Saturday, let's put it this way, Dutch didn't cover himself in glory, but you never know. We've got a couple of youngsters coming through, but until they're out there, until you see them run, you'll never know. We're still having a lot of fun up in Joburg with the Mad Greek. I mean, he's doing it, and then obviously, probably one of the trainers who's closest to my heart is old Pete Steyn. I mean, he's definitely, as he calls it, he's got the bread and butter horses, but we've now actually managed to get him, much to his joy, he's got a couple of Water Winters and a Give Me the Green Light. So hopefully he's going to shoot the lights out, because if anyone deserves a good break, it's that man.
Yeah, he certainly deserves the support. I often see your colours running for him, and he does a fair job too, and he's mostly getting them earning, which is the main thing.
His horses all pay their way, eh? And I mean, you know, I'd love to see what a track, because he's a horseman. I mean, he's a natural horseman, and I'd love to see what would happen if he was given the quality or the pedigree of horses that other people are given, because I think he does, given what he's given, he does a fantastic job. And I can also tell you, racing with him is a wonderful experience. There's never a dull moment.
Thank you very much for having us here today, Bryn. The Breeding to Win team love coming to Vasco, and we wish you all the best for the coming season, not only here with all the sporting events, but on the racecourse as well.
Thank you, and thank you to yourself personally, and obviously to Grant and to the breeding team for all their support. And also, you know, it's wonderful to have you guys, and please, whenever you're in the area, please pop in and have a drink or a bite.
Well, it was lovely to be here this morning. As you can see, it's a beautiful restaurant, and there's a wonderful facility now where you can have a bet, come and watch your favourite sport, have a little bit of a punt, and enjoy some delicious food.
You can't really say you've been to an equestrian event unless you've heard an Irish accent. Now, two chaps from Shamrock Enterprises have come out here to South Africa to launch a new product, an equine product, and it certainly was initially quite a shock factor to see at Claverflay Stallion Day two Irishmen with big shamrocks walking around that weren't the shamrocks that are associated with the Claverflay brand. But Fee, you managed to catch up with him, and an exciting venture.
Yeah, it was lovely to meet Richard and James. Very exciting venture. They brought their product here to show me, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely full of minerals and molasses and goodness for these horses, and any horse can have it, from a racehorse to a mare to a stallion. So it's a wonderful product, and I hope that we'll see a lot more of it in South Africa.
I'm sure they will do, and one thing we know that the Irish are quite partial to having a wee drink as well, and they've enjoyed the festivities so far.
They've loved it. I mean, they've loved their whole experience of South Africa, and they've loved coming here today. Their first time at Claverflay, they've really enjoyed it.
Fantastic stuff. Well, let's catch up with Fiona, who took time to chat to them out at Claverflay.
It's lovely to have Irish visitors here at Claverflay this morning, and Richard Caplice is from Shamrock Enterprises, and he's selling a very interesting product for our horses to eat. Now, this to me looks like a lick, but you say it's not a lick, Richard. But whatever it is, it's got so much goodness in it.
It's quite unique. It is a lick. Horses do lick it, but we actually harvest specific types of seaweed that we put into it. There's about 4 different types of seaweed that's inside in it. Because we use seaweed, it protects all the minerals in amino acids, which means they're twice more available to bloodstream of the animal.
Wow, and there's molasses, I believe, in there, and all sorts of vitamins and minerals.
There is molasses, yeah. The molasses is just to bind all the minerals together and to make it taste nice.
And can any horses have this product? I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're a racehorse or you're a mare in the paddock or a stallion. Is it good for all breeds?
Absolutely, it is. And I know there is a problem over here in South Africa with ulcers in horses, and this product is absolutely superb for that.
That's very interesting to know, because lots of trainers give their horses anti-ulcer treatment, so that's wonderful to know. And this product, you're obviously selling it in Ireland. Are you hoping now to sell it in South Africa?
We absolutely are, yeah. We in Ireland and the UK, we deal with all the top studs, raceyards from Coolmore to Ballylynch to Baroda. They'll be all household names over there. So, yeah, we're looking to come over here now, and it's exciting. We love this country as well.
It's very exciting. This isn't your first time here then?
No, we came over 2 years ago. It's actually taken 2 years to register the product.
But is it your first time at Claverflay?
My first time here, yeah. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. So we will be able to purchase this in South Africa, and how much does a pot of this product go for?
It's a 13 kilo tub, so roughly a horse will use maybe 2 to 3 per year, and it works out roughly about 700 rand, roughly.
How long would it last? How long do they sort of get through it?
Because we don't use fillers, horses will literally only go at it when they need it. If they have enough minerals in the system, they're supposed to self-regulate. As soon as they have enough minerals in the system, they'll come away from it. So ideally, probably about 3 tubs in a year roughly is what they go through.
It's fantastic, and you're getting results. You're seeing the results.
Absolutely, you'll see within about 3-4 weeks. You'll see it in their coat. We use a specific type of copper, turns their coats inside out.
Sounds wonderful. I'll certainly be looking for some and putting it around. You've got a nice little leaflet there. I hope you're leaving some forever to show all the trainers and breeders, because it really does look an exciting product. Thank you very much for chatting to us this morning, and enjoy the rest of your stay in South Africa.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
As a racehorse, he ran a pair of seconds in his first 2 starts over sprints. He then broke his maiden when he first went over a mile. Straight out the maidens, he managed to reel off a group win over the mile as well. And then obviously big performance when he ran 3rd in that Group 1, the Derby.
Royal Moe, and here comes Gormley, followed by Iliad and Reach the World in Battle of Midway, trying to stave off the Moss pair. Royal Moe and Gormley battling strongly. Gormley looming into the lead now. Gormley takes the lead, and Gormley wins the Santa Anita Derby.
One of the highlights of the Claverflay Stallion Day was none other than Pomodoro, recently successful in producing his first Group 1 winner, and that was Return Flight, who certainly had been impressive early on in her career. She had won a race by 11 1/4 lengths. She then came out and followed it up with an 8-length victory. She looked to have a big chance on Eland Gold Cup Day in the Taquini Stakes, a Group 1 event. And Fiona, she certainly was an impressive winner on the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's really set Pomodoro alight with that win. And he looked absolutely magnificent this morning. He was jumping out of his skin. He looked fit as a fiddle and ready to race again. He looked really, really well.
Great to see the pride and enjoyment that Chris van Niekerk, Sean Terry and Eric van Niekerk get out of Pomodoro.
Yes, it's lovely. It really must give them sort of butterflies in their tummy, the fact that, you know, Sean trained him, and to see him there looking so well and full of himself, it must be really remarkable.
Well, let's catch up with Pomodoro and that very exciting win from Return Flight.
When you look out over that beautiful ocean and think of all the incredible stallions that have been imported into South Africa, whether it's by air or by boat, there are 3 horses that immediately come to mind in the past 50 years that have had an incredible influence on the breed. First of those is Al Mufti, the second Rakeen, and the third is a horse called Silvana, but that's a documentary in itself. The reason I cite Rakeen as being the most important is because he produced a horse called Jetmaster.
Well, I'm so pleased you mentioned Rakeen, because if it wasn't for Rakeen, he was the first son ever to race in South Africa of Northern Dancer. He produced the greatest stallion we've ever had in Jetmaster.
Well, I'm just thrilled. And I trained him, I'd done better with him, he'd have stayed here, so I did you a favour. They felt he wasn't quite what they wanted here. In my opinion, he should have stayed here, but he went and did well. But I think when you have those bloodlines, you know, and you've got the right bloodlines combined with rearing them properly, and I think a lot of your farms out there really good, rear a good tough horse.
Now, Jetmaster produced Pocket Power, River Jetez, JJ the Jet Plane, Mythical Flight, Ravishing. You can go on and on and on. There were just so many outstanding sons and daughters of Jetmaster. And one of them was a horse called Pomodoro. He may well be Jetmaster's most prolific son at stud. And he's recently had his first Grade 1 winner at Greyville, which of course is the place where he was victorious in the Vodacom Durban July. It was Pierre Stradum who got him across from a deep draw to get up in the shadow of the post to defeat Smanje Manje. Sean Terry, of course, was the trainer, and he is the trainer of a filly called Return Flight, ridden by Anton Marcus with an indisposed Lyle Hewitson on the sidelines, but the ever-present, ever-humble Chris and Eric van Niekerk at her side. Let's go and pick up the action in the Grade 1 Taquini Stakes run at Greyville over 1,600 metres and follow the story of Pomodoro's first Grade 1 victress.
Taquini Stakes, Grade 1, 1,600 metres in front of them. Gates crash back and they sent on their journey. Anton Marcus scrubs away on Return Flight, and she is the early leader by a half a length. Return Flight in the blue now looking to steady the ship. Now Mazzari's moving around to get into a striking position. 600 to go. Mazzari moves through to pick up the tempo. Return Flight now hooked to the centre of the course as the bird flies off the track there. Then comes Runaway Gal. Pink Silk's a perfect tigress towards the inside. Return Flight at the 400 metre marker comes home. Mazzari's back second. Can you feel it? Anton Marcus says says go, and Return Flight says clear the runway, clear by 3. Dagmar's running on towards the inside. Rail Trips coming home late on, but Return Flight, this has landed. Rail Trips coming flying for second, but Return Flight all out to win. Anton said let's go, and Return Flight said let's go. Spread your wings, this daughter of Pomodoro for the Sean Terry outfit. Chris van Niekerk, bred by the Sharkies. The Grade 1 Taquini Stakes by about a length and a quarter.
She helped me. Real grinder this finish. She's a tough girl, you know. Just a big thank you to Sean and to Chris. Commiserations still are, you know, it's never nice. I've been in that position before, but rest assured he's got more Grade 1s ahead of him than what I have.
An absolute privilege, first of all, to be in the position that I am, that I have got as many Pomodoros in my yard. But at the same time, we backed the stallion, and I've got to thank Chris for supporting everything that he's done. I've been screaming from the rooftops about what I've been seeing. For those who have listened, you know, I hope they're happy with what they...
Of which I am a devotee.
Well, I'm glad, Paul. But, you know, it's easy to talk. You got to deliver, and today she's done that.
Paul, it's unbelievable. I came today for a Group 1 for Pomodoro. I got dealt it, my day is done. Absolutely fantastic. And, you know, the story goes deep, as you know. Golden Apple, yes. Sean Terry, now Cloverflay. I'm a little bit overwhelmed.
Sean said that you invested heavily in the stallion when you had to buy the offspring.
Oh, yes. No, we went overboard in terms of supporting him. So it's over to him now.
It is. But it's wonderful. It just augurs well for the future, doesn't it, Chris?
Thank you very much, and well done to Cloverflay as well.
Excellent. Here, well, Greg's got you your winning owner. And Chris van Niekerk. There he is. Wonderful to see Chris with another trophy. The winning groom is going to get his envelope as well. His name is Soso Nkondlo. Here comes Soso. He was the guy ululating earlier. Come around here, we get a photograph. You come in here, Soso. There we go. Greg has got you an envelope. He's the man who looks after this filly Return Flight. Congratulations to him.
So, an incredibly memorable day, Elan Gold Cup Day, where Return Flight was victorious for Sean Terry, Chris and Eric van Niekerk, and of course Anton Marcus doing a sterling job with an indisposed Lyle Hewitson on the sidelines. One of the treasured memories of the 2017-2018 racing season.
Well, it's been a great show. Thanks very much to Fee for your contribution, and obviously weekly shows now. We're keeping you busy?
Yeah, it's super exciting, and I mean, it's that time of year. We've got mares will be foaling shortly. We've got the Cape Summer season to look forward to, so there's always lots on the go, and it's a really, really exciting time.
We've got a number of sponsors that will certainly be represented in the upcoming months. We'll be going to different locations and showing you exactly what the sponsors have to offer as well, and we look forward to bringing you all that action. But thanks for joining us on tonight's show. We certainly hope you enjoyed it. Some fantastic horse flesh on the market, and we look forward to the two-year-old sale coming up shortly, as well as all the awards evenings. We've got the Cape Town Awards coming up shortly, as well as the Equus Awards. We hope to see you there. From both of us, good night.